There was a lush, green forest where the trees covered the sky like a great dome. One evening, Father Wolf quietly left his den to find food for his family and went out hunting in the forest. Suddenly, he heard a sound he had never heard before. He looked around and saw among the thick bushes a tiny, abandoned baby. "This is a human child," he said. He gently picked up the baby in his mouth without hurting it, and carried it back to his den. From a distance, the tiger Khan, whose eyes blazed like fire, watched as the wolf carried the baby away and grew furious. Because he had stolen that human baby from a nearby village to eat it himself. He secretly followed the wolves, hoping to take the baby back. But Mother Wolf and her cubs approached the little innocent baby with kindness as soon as they saw it. Mother Wolf said, "From now on, we will call him Mowgli. It means brave, because he is a very brave baby." From that day on, Mowgli lived in the forest with his wolf brothers. Mother Wolf fed him with her milk, cared for him as her own, and protected him from danger. Soon, Mowgli became friends with all the animals in the forest. He played happily with them, swung from vines like a monkey, and came to know the forest as his home. Meanwhile, the tiger Khan watched Mowgli from afar with sharp eyes. He waited for the right time and opportunity to catch him alone and reclaim his prey. One day, the wise leader of the wolf pack, Akela, called the kind bear Baloo and the shadow-silent black panther Bagheera to his side. Since Mowgli was growing day by day, they began to discuss his future. Akela, with a wise voice, gave them their duties. He said that human children are very intelligent and must be raised like a child of the jungle. He ordered Baloo and Bagheera to protect him and teach him the laws of the jungle. Bear Baloo taught him how to climb the tallest trees to find nuts and honey. Mowgli listened carefully to Baloo's fatherly advice. Every day he climbed higher and filled his belly with sweet fruits. On another day, Baloo taught him how to recognize the sounds of the forest, which meant danger and which meant friendship. Now Mowgli could run as fast as a deer and swim as well as an otter. Bagheera taught Mowgli how to recognize the cruel traps humans set for animals and how to escape them. But one day, one of Mowgli's wolf brothers was caught in one of those iron traps. The tiger Khan wanted to eat the helpless young wolf for lunch. But Mowgli acted before the tiger could, and used his wits to pull his brother free from the jaws of the trap. When Khan realized he had been defeated again by this small human child, he went mad with rage. Baloo taught Mowgli some magic words to use whenever he was in trouble in the jungle. Mowgli quickly memorized these magic words and believed that no animal in the forest could ever harm him again. Realizing he could not capture Mowgli alone, the tiger went to the Banderlogs, the most dangerous and lawless monkeys in the jungle. He told them about the clever human child named Mowgli. One of the Banderlogs said that if Mowgli taught them everything he knew, they could become the wisest creatures in the forest. Then they would rule the whole jungle. One day, Mowgli was building a shelter of branches for himself and his wolf family before a coming rainstorm. The Banderlogs were silently watching him from the treetops. They decided to seize the moment and kidnap him. As the sun set, Mowgli was suddenly grabbed by two monkeys and carried away. He was swiftly taken over the treetops to a hill where the forest grew very thick. Soon, the young boy found himself in a place filled with hundreds of Banderlog monkeys. When he realized he had been kidnapped by these dreadful creatures, he did not panic. He began to think. He had to find a way to tell Baloo and Bagheera that he had been kidnapped. At that moment, he noticed the vulture Chil gliding across the sky. He remembered the magic words Baloo had taught him and shouted with all his strength, "We be of one blood, thou and I." Hearing these words, the vulture knew at once that Mowgli was a friend and in danger. He approached him quietly so no one would see. Mowgli said to him, "You must tell Baloo and Bagheera that I've been captured. I need help." Vulture Chil replied, "Of course. I'll tell them right away, brother," when a Banderlog came near them. Just as the monkey was about to attack the vulture, Chil took to the air and flew away. Then the Banderlogs took Mowgli to their monkey city, the Cold Lairs. It was a place deep in the jungle, a ruined site abandoned by humans hundreds of years ago. Though Mowgli tried to escape, the Banderlogs were so many that they caught him again every time. Thanks to Vulture Chil, Baloo and Bagheera finally learned that Mowgli had been kidnapped. So they decided to ask for help from Kaa, the great python, to rescue him. Because they knew that acting together was always the safest way. Baloo, Bagheera, and Kaa reached the monkey's city and hid behind a giant elephant statue. They began to wait for the best moment to snatch Mowgli from there. Kaa suddenly whispered, "Now is the time. Go." Bagheera moved silently, like a shadow, to seize the monkeys. Then he scattered the monkeys around Mowgli with his powerful paws, flinging them this way and that. The Bandar-logs screamed in fear and fled. Thus, Mowgli was saved. But when one of them cried out for help, many more monkeys suddenly swarmed around Bagheera. A few of them grabbed Mowgli and locked him in a walled chamber. At that moment, Mowgli remembered the large water tank among the city's ruins. Knowing that monkeys feared water, he shouted through a hole in the wall to his friend, "Bagheera, run to the water and jump in!" Hearing Mowgli's voice, Bagheera ran straight to the water-filled tank and leapt in. At the same time, Baloo was attacked by the monkeys. They began to wrestle. Baloo used his great size to frighten the Bandar-logs and tried to fend them off with his claws. Poor Baloo was fighting with all his strength against the monkeys. Just then, Kaa suddenly appeared. Throwing himself into the midst of the Bandar-logs, Kaa lashed them left and right with his massive tail, and the monkeys fled in terror. For they had feared Kaa since ancient times. As the Bandar-logs began to flee into the depths of the forest, Baloo breathed a sigh of relief. Bagheera took the chance to climb out of the water. Mowgli shouted, "I'm here! Save me!" Kaa swung his powerful tail and smashed down the room's walls with a single blow. Freed, Mowgli threw himself outside. Baloo and Bagheera embraced him with affection. Mowgli thanked them for rescuing him. Then they returned to their den together. Tiger Khan realized that with such strong and loyal friends, he would never again be able to harm Mowgli. He gave up trying to catch him. Time passed, and Mowgli became a young man who mastered the secrets of the jungle. Even so, the curiosity in his heart one day drew him near the village where humans lived. There he met a woman. The moment she saw Mowgli, she froze, for the gaze of this wild youth was the same as that of the baby she had lost years ago in the forest. With a trembling voice, the woman asked Mowgli whether he had a tiny, crescent-shaped birthmark on his chest. Mowgli, who had thought only he and his wolf mother knew of that special mark, was astonished and showed it to her. Both realized they were mother and son. Baloo, Bagheera, and Kaa, with both sorrow and love, accepted that their friend had found the place where he belonged. They whispered their farewell to him, promising they would always remain brothers. Mowgli spent happy days with his human family, but he never forgot the jungle that raised him or his loyal friends.